Good afternoon. So we've had the FA Cup second qualifying round draw, and I'm really excited to talk about that. It's going to be brilliant. So I'll start talking about that shortly. So there are 80 ties in the second qualifying round. But there are quite a few replays. There is one tonight that I was going to go to, but I'm unable to go to now. That was Abbey Holton United against Sutton Coldfield Town. I was going to get up there, but it's just I'm going to be pushing it too much, so I'm not going to make it there. I'll have to go to Abbey Holton another time. And the significance of Abbey Holton is the fact that they are the last remaining debutant club in the competition. 15 teams entered the competition that had never played in it before. One left. There was two going into the first qualifying round. Wanwell Town got knocked out by Stocksbridge Park Steels. Abbey Holton United made it to a replay against Sutton Coldfield Town tonight. So my next game is going to be in the National League on Wednesday, as I'm going up to the Shea Stadium to watch Halifax Town against Woking. That'll be my next fixture. And then at the weekend, I've got a local derby in the FA Trophy, very close to home. Long Eaton United against one of my favourite and one of my most local clubs, Carlton Town, which should be a really good tie in the FA Trophy. So let me know in the comments which games you're going to. I've got a couple of comments before I started. JJR says Gaming Blomp's a legend. Thank you for that. Not sure I agree with that. Edward says everyone's a legend, but not me. Good start to life in higher education for me. Yes, you are a legend, Edward. Absolutely are. Everyone in here would agree with you. Roaster2, hello mate. Fun fact, you're my most subscribed subscriber. Well, I appreciate that massively. Yeah, it is international break this weekend, isn't it? So the lower leagues will still be on. So it's FA Trophy. So it's really good when the international breaks on because a lot of people go down to local matches. They go and watch their local clubs. Like I said, it's Long Eaton versus Carlton for me. And then my Southern League Premier Central series really does kick off this week because it's I've only done 2 grounds. I'm doing all 22 this season. I've still got 20 left to do. So I've got Harborough's ground on Tuesday. I've then got Stourbridge's ground on Wednesday. And I think the following week, I'm headed over to Barwell. And I think Redditch a couple of days later. Roaster2 says, I don't want to watch England. No, I never watch England. I'm Welsh, so I don't tend to watch England that often. My wife's Italian, so yeah, we watch Wales, we watch Italy, not massively bothered about England. Let's have a look at these FA Cup fixtures then. Has any of you had chance to check out the FA Cup fixtures yet? Second qualifying draw made today. Edwards Footy Predictions wants to watch Wales. You know, I don't even know who Wales are playing. Like, I'm that out of touch with international football at the moment that I don't even know. Are they in the same group? I mean, they always get Belgium in the group stages, don't they? Hensford have Coleshill away, and that'll be a really good tie. Be a really good tie. Wales play Kazakhstan away next. Well, they should win that, shouldn't they? Haven't quite been the same team since Gareth Bale retired. So let's have a look at these ties. So I'm going to go through them 1 to 80. They are regionalised. I believe they're split into north-south, but I was speaking to somebody from Quorn today who said that it's kind of north-south and like a mid-section as well, so there's not too much travelling. Hey, James. Non-league James Boyle is in the chat. Good to have you here with us, James. Yeah, all the 6-tier sides do join in this round. So we've got all the teams from the National League North and National League South. And firstly, I've got to say there is a huge potential tie because James, who's just joined, I believe, lives in or near Boston. Boston Town are one of his local sides. Should they win their replay tomorrow, it is Boston Town against Hereford. So what a tie that is. I think that's game 22 or something like that. Game, yeah, 24, Boston Town or Sporting Calcer against Hereford. If Boston Town win the replay tomorrow, I'll be headed over to Boston to watch that fixture. And if Calcer win, I've already been to Calcer. I'm going to go to the Quorn against Kettering game instead. How does Radek Vitek not get 99 rating on FC26 but Bon Mati does? Are they FIFA or FC ratings out now? Do we know what new teams are on there? I hope Boston Town get through the replay tomorrow. It's 30 minutes away from the Boston Town ground. Yeah, that'd be massive. That'd be massive. I've just been talking to Matt Evans, the Sleaford manager, who says that he hopes Boston win as well because it'll be a massive fixture. Let's face it, whoever wins that tie, Hereford should beat them comfortably, shouldn't they? They should go to Boston Town 3 leagues higher and beat them 5 or 6-0. It doesn't work that way in the FA Cup. I have seen Hereford go to grounds like that and score 7, 8, 9 goals. So I'd like to see Hereford win against either team comfortably. I've been to Sporting Calcer already when we played in the West Midland League once we reformed in the 15-16 season. I think we won 4-0 at Sporting Calcer. Brilliant food there, amazing food. They serve Indian food, or they did when I was there before. Like really nice. They had like a curry house there, and it was so good. One of the best, some of the best football ground I've had. We got Wissa. Has he signed for Newcastle then? Because I believe Isak has joined Liverpool, or the deal's been done today. So the FA Cup second qualifying draw. We signed Neto Borges on loan from Borough. How good was that game on the weekend, by the way? Bristol City. Are they still sitting at the top of the table? Osula joining Frankfurt. Yeah. And what about Arsenal yesterday, before we go into the FA Cup stuff? What about Arsenal playing at Anfield for the draw and they lost 1-0? James Boyle, also Boston United are away, so lots of Boston United fans will go too to make it a big crowd. If they win tomorrow, it could be 500 plus. That's amazing that Boston United are away because, yeah, like you say, Hereford will probably... What does Boston Town's ground hold? I think Boston is quite a long way from Hereford. I was talking to some Hereford fans. Bristol City is 6th, Middlesbrough top. That shows how out of touch I am with the Football League at the moment because, last time I looked, I think Bristol City were top. So focused on non-league football. So, fixture number 1 in the FA Cup second qualifying round is a big one. It's FC United of Manchester against Chadderton, which Chadderton is Oldham. So that's quite a big tie. FC United of Manchester, I think there was the biggest crowd there when they played Rossington Main in the last round. They beat them 4-0. Quite a big tie. I think, I'm not quite sure what league Chadderton are in, but I think FC United would go into that as favourites. 6,000, but I think 3,000 on United's ground can hold 5,500. I focus on every league down to the 7th tier. Yeah, that's really good to do so. I need to have another look at the league tables because I think when I last checked the league tables, I think Stevenage were top of League 1. I'm not sure if that's still the case. And I think were Gillingham top of League 2? I'm not sure. So FC United of Manchester against Chadderton is game 1. Switch tactics going to Hereford versus Bedford. Are you going, or are you asking me if I'm going? Because that's we need to follow that up. After that brilliant win against Alfreton, we need to follow that up with a win. Because the win against Buxton was amazing, but what happened after Buxton? We got hammered at home by Chorley. Top of Northern Premier, FC United of Manchester. Yeah, they're looking very strong this season. Edward says, I try to, however, I mainly focus on Premier League and Championship, but as a certain someone asked if I'm doing National League North and South predictions this season, I'd said I'd do it next season. I wonder who could have suggested that. That might have been me. So match day 2, I don't know if anyone saw the flat cap derby, which was Atherton Laburnum Rovers against Atherton Collieries, but they've been given an amazing tie in the FA Cup. It's Macclesfield against Atherton Laburnum Rovers, which is brilliant. I mean, Macclesfield would probably win that tie, I would have thought. Game 3, Curzon Ashton against Hebburn Town. I think Hebburn has stepped 4 or 5, so that's quite a big tie for them. Game 4, Stalybridge Celtic, who knocked out Bury in the preliminary round. They played Chester. That's fairly local, I believe. That's quite a good tie as well. We've got Congleton Town against Chorley. If Chorley play anything like they did at Edgar Street when they took us apart, they'll beat Congleton fairly comfortably. Non-league James Boyle says, local derby, if Bourne get through, they play Stamford, so only 15 drive. Yeah, that's a good game. Oh, they've got Shepshed in a replay, haven't they? Is the draw at 7:45? No, the draw came out at 1 o'clock. So game 6 was Silsden or Bootle against Darlington. Darlington, of course, in our league. We've got match 7 is 2 National League North sides play each other. We've got Radcliffe against Southport. I don't think Southport are doing that well. Radcliffe, I was really disappointed when Radcliffe beat us last week, but they followed it up with a hammering away to Oxford City. So maybe Radcliffe aren't going to be as bad as we thought in that league. Another National League North side, match day 8, we got West Auckland Town against Spennymoor Town. I think Spennymoor Town away would be one of the more difficult ties anyone could get at this stage. Hyde United or Prescott Cables against Whitby Town. Good opportunity for one of those sides to get into the 3rd qualifying round. Don't forget, we're only 2 more rounds away from the first round after this one. Roaster says Southport, one of the biggest clubs in the National League North, but never do well. No, I agree. I think they're going to struggle a bit this season. Radcliffe aren't going to be as bad as Ding Dong a Domino's ad. Okay. Match 10, another side. And how well have they started? We've got South Shields against Guiseley. South Shields currently top of the National League North. They're doing really well. I think it was Buxton that ended their unbeaten run the other week. Match 11, Dunstan against Stocksbridge Park Steels. James Boyle, so happy Boston United not in the cup yet. Could see them losing after a 3-0 loss to Truro. Yeah, Boston United aren't in until 4th qualifying round, so these teams have got 2 games to play before they get there. Southport were the last team to be voted out of the Football League, replaced by Wigan. Yeah, and I don't think that they've returned since, have they? I don't think they have. We've got Pickering Town against Runcorn Linnets. AFC Fylde at home is going to be tough. They've got Bamber Bridge. Avro or Nantwich Town against Trafford. Newcastle Blue Star play Marine, who are in our league. Morpeth Town, I've got bad memories of Morpeth Town after they beat us in the FA Vars final a few seasons ago. Morpeth Town against Whitton Albion or Shildon. I think Shildon have reached the first round once. I believe they might have played Notts County and then taken a hammering. Roaster says, where do you see Boston finishing? And my name is James, for anyone who doesn't know. So we've got 2 Jameses in the chat. I think Boston United are going to be fine. I know James is a Boston United fan. I think after losing to Truro, it's a poor result, but I think they'll be good enough to stay up. I do think they'll be good enough to stay up. So Hallam or Ashton United have got Scarborough Athletic at home. Hallam, I was at Hallam for the preliminary round where they beat City of Liverpool 3-0. They drew with Ashton United 2-2 at the weekend on Sunday. They play Wednesday. Winner of that plays Scarborough Athletic at home. Quite a bit of a local one. Match day 18, Racing Club Warwick against Evesham United. Evesham, of course, knocked Bromsgrove Sporting out. I would have liked to see Bromsgrove go through, but I'm happy for Evesham. 10th to 15th for Boston United, says James Boyle. Roaster says, I start my new school on Thursday. Are you looking forward to that? Or is it one of those things that you just have to do? I wasn't a fan of going to school. Excited and nervous. I'm sure you'll be fine. What year are you going into? Edward's Footy Predictions started college today and loving life there so far. Brilliant. That's really good to hear. Really good to hear. Roaster starting year 7. That's quite a big jump up, isn't it, from primary to secondary? We've got Worcester City or Chasetown play Banbury United. Chasetown. Does anyone remember Chasetown's FA Cup runs of a few seasons ago? I'd like to see Worcester against Banbury, both being Southern League Prem Central ties. James Boyle says Matlock Town versus Carlton Town. What do I think? It's weird because I messaged someone at Carlton Town and I sent them my Matlock Town vlog and I said you could end up there, and that is where they've ended up. But I think after what I saw of Matlock, they beat Bottisford, but I think Bottisford gave it a good go. They made mistakes, which cost them on Saturday. I think Carlton will be more clinical than Bottisford, so I think Carlton will go to Matlock and win. The crowd will make it difficult for them. I think there'll be quite a good crowd there. So it'll be a really good game. It will be a really good game. What about this one? Match 20, AFC Telford United against Kidderminster Harriers. That has to be, so far for me, that has to be the biggest one. AFC Telford United against Kidderminster Harriers. Both National League North. What a game. Just as I was saying that, James has typed it. What a game that. Come on, Telford. I mean, as a Hereford fan, I because I do so many vlogs, I try and stay impartial. Obviously, Hereford aren't massively fond of Kidderminster Harriers. But yeah, I've got nothing against Kidderminster Harriers. I think that'll be a good game. And I think Kidderminster will probably beat Telford. What nicknames do you have for teams? I call Hitchin Town, Kitchen Town, and Halesoe in Halloween. I'm pretty sure when I was younger, I used to have lots of weird nicknames for teams, but I can't really remember what they were. We've got Alvechurch against Leamington. Now, that's not a nice tie, that, for Leamington of National League North. That's not a nice tie at all, because Alvechurch are going to be really good at home. So Alvechurch against Leamington. Tim Flowers, of course, manager of Alvechurch. Leamington overachieving really in the National League North. Then we've got the one that James mentioned earlier. We've got Bourne Town or Shepshed Dynamo against Stamford. Stamford against Bourne is a hell of a tie. I think Bourne and Shepshed in the same league. I think they're both Step 4 clubs. Bourne, I think they got promoted last season. Bourne against Stamford's a really good game. Used to get Radstock and Rostock mixed up. One's a Somerset town and the other's a beautiful German city. Yeah. So yeah, Bourne Town or Shepshed Dynamo against Stamford. Gainsborough Trinity. I went there in pre-season. They've got Rushall Olympic. And this is the big one. I couldn't believe it when this one came out, particularly for James Boyle. Boston Town or Sporting Khalsa against Hereford. I hope it's Boston Town. I really hope it's Boston Town. Like I said, I've been to Sporting Calcio before. Brilliant food, but I'd like to go to Boston Town with Hereford. I think Edward's footy predictions mentioned this one earlier. We've got Coleshill Town against Hensford Town, and that's a good game. That's a massive game there. Both Step 3 clubs, I believe, or is Coleshill Step 4? Boston Town are Step 5. Match 26 in the draw, Buxton against Redditch United. Tough one for Redditch. So National League North against Southern League Premier Central. Gainsborough game should be a good one. Hope they can get up as well. And Boston Town are Step 5, just out the playoffs. Yeah, they lost the playoff final, didn't they? I think they lost to Bourne in that playoff final. I think, James, have you got a vlog of that playoff final on your channel? So this will be a good one. Match 27 is Spalding United against Alfreton Town. So Southern League Premier Central Spalding against National League North. Strugglers really so far, Alfreton Town. Then is if Boston Town lose tomorrow, I will be going to this one instead, which is Quorn against Kettering Town. I don't have the car on that Saturday. My wife has the car, but she's going to be going to Loughborough, so I'll get her to drop me off at Quorn, so I'll go to that one. But if Boston Town beat Calcer, I'll go there. So Quorn against Kettering's match 28. What was your match day vlog title, Roaster? I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. And James Boyle says, I was there, did a vlog, but some thought it was a biased view of the game. Yeah, you do get those. I wouldn't worry too much about them. You've been pecked by the robins. Yeah, I've seen a few of those going around. 29, as we mentioned earlier, Matlock Town against Carlton Town. So I was at Matlock Saturday when they beat Bottisford. Carlton are the most local side to me left in the competition. I was hoping that they'd be home, so that just be another option for me. But Matlock Town against Carlton. We've got Harbour Town or Leek Town against Worksop Town. Worksop got promoted into Step 2 last season. Harbour Town and Leek Town are both at Step 3. Match 31, Grimsby Borough versus Halesowen Town or Stratford Town. What step are Grimsby Borough? I think they're Step 4, aren't they? I thought Halesowen Town were going to beat Stratford Town, but of course they played out a draw at the weekend, so they've got to play each other in Stratford tomorrow. Who did Merthyr Town get? Where is Merthyr Town in here? I think they are in the southern section, which is weird considering they're in the Merthyr Town match 78 against Torpoint Athletic at home. William Shakespeare is from Stratford on Avon. Yeah, I think yeah, you corrected me last time on that one. Yes, does anyone know what step Grimsby Borough are? I think they might be they're Step 4, aren't they? They're in Carlton's league, I think. So Grimsby Borough against Halesowen Town or Stratford Town. It'd be a good one to go to. Should vlog it as well if you can. So the game I was going to go to tonight, Sutton Coldfield Town or Abbey Holton United have been drawn at home to Stourbridge. Yeah, so thanks, James. They are. Grimsby Borough are Step 4. Oh, you did? Yeah, you did. So you've done a vlog on that one as well. Blackstones against Grimsby Borough. In there in the east, yeah, and Carlton are in the Midlands. Thanks for clearing that one up. The FA Cup second qualifying round ties are the weekend of the 13th of September. So there'll undoubtedly be some on the 12th, on the Friday. Then there'll be majority of them 3 o'clock. I know that the BBC always put one live. They'll probably put that one at 12:30. And then there'll be some on the Sunday as well. So I'll see what gets moved. Yeah, so the winner of Sutton Coldfield Town and Abbey Holton United tonight will play home to Stourbridge. I've got a friend who plays for Stourbridge, so it'll be interesting to see how they get on there. Royston Town against Brentwood Town. I love it when small non-league sides play a big football league team, like when Charlton played Cray Valley or when Kettering played Northampton. And Kettering beat Northampton as well. I was at Exeter. I was in the hospitality suite at Exeter, and that one was on in the evening, and we watched most of that game. Kettering actually knocked Northampton out. Wellington v Slough should be a good game. It's a bit of a derby, isn't it? Is it stopping for anyone else or just me? I think it may just, hopefully it's just you. So what have we got? Bury Town against Woodford Town was the last one I mentioned. Yeah, my connection might not be the best at times. It does seem to, yeah, my connection does drop a bit sometimes. It's weird. Sometimes when I'm uploading a video, which I'm not, I'm obviously streaming, but sometimes it's almost like my connection puts all of the energy into uploading the video and it makes the internet go really slow everywhere else in the house. It's quite annoying. Who do Weston have? So Weston, they'll be right down the bottom in the southern section. Taunton away for Weston. That is a big one. 35 Potters Bar Town or Hitchin Town against St Albans City. We've got Leiston against Hackney Wick. Yeah, it's a really good Somerset derby. Do you remember who Weston knocked out in round one proper last season? Non-league James Boyle says go on Hitchin Town. Might be going to Weston's ground. I've passed Weston's ground. I don't think I've ever actually been in it. We've got match 37, Mulbarton Wanderers against Whittam Town. Didn't even know that where Mulbarton Wanderers are from or anything about them really, but they knocked Histon out in the last round. Yeah, I thought they beat Bristol Rovers as well, but I think they would have had a replay, Weston. I think Bristol Rovers ended up winning 3-1 in extra time. That's exactly, yeah. Roasters just confirmed that, yeah. So this one, game 38 is one that I think is one of the absolute best ties in this round. So is 39, actually. Bedford Town against Dagenham and Redbridge. So we've got newly promoted into the National League North, Bedford Town, versus newly relegated into the National League South, Dagenham and Redbridge. And it's not been as easy as they thought it was going to be. Dagenham, they're struggling a little bit. TKWAFC says any good in the Northwest. There are some pretty good ties, yeah, in the Northwest. Is there any particular sides that you're looking out for? Because we've got, I'm just going to quickly go over the Northwest ones. FC United of Manchester against Chadderton. Macclesfield against Atherton, LR. Curzon Ashton against Hebburn. Stalybridge v Chester. Congleton against Chorley. You got the likes of Radcliffe against Southport. West, I'm not sure where West Auckland is. So Bedford against Dagenham is match 38. That's one of the biggest ones. But check this one out. Match 39. Enfield against Enfield Town. That's a big one. James Boyle says Mulbarton located just south of Norwich and in a village. Your knowledge is so good. I thought mine was good, but your knowledge is so good. Enfield against Enfield Town, match 39. Chesham United against Kings Lynn Town, so that's National League South against National League North. Oh, you looked it up. You could have got away with that there. One of the sides who I think are going to do really well in the National South is Chelmsford City. They've got Hertford Town at home. Yes, Ashley, it is going to happen. Enfield against Enfield. It's a big one. I think Enfield Town are the bigger side there. We've then got AFC Sudbury of the Southern League Prem Central against Aveley, who knocked out #United. That's game 42. Do they hate each other? I'm not sure. I know that Atherton LR and Atherton Collieries played each other on Saturday, and they seem to have a bit of a rivalry. I think Enfield are bigger. They won the National League twice. Yeah, I think Enfield Town have overtaken them now, but historically Enfield probably are the bigger club, aren't they? We've got Hemel Hempstead Town against Rail Bedford or Bishop Stortford. Bishop Stortford, of course, going really well in the Southern League Prem Central. I tipped them for relegation and they're top of the league. That wasn't a great prediction, was it? We've got struggling National League North Peterborough Sports against, some would say, overachieving National League South Hornchurch. James Boyle says Worthing get to go to Jersey. That's a tricky tie, isn't it? So we're kind of on the southeast really now. We've got Needham Market against Amesbury Rovers. Don't really know a lot about Amesbury Rovers. I know Needham Market are in the Southern League Prem Central. They came down from the National League North last season. Worthing going to Jersey Bulls. That'll be FA Cup. Waltham Abbey against Gorleston. Malden and Tiptree recently got millionaire owners. They've got Stanway Rovers. Billericay Town against Berkhamsted. You've got Ashford United against Chatham Town. And as someone has already mentioned, Welling United versus Slough Town. That's a big one. I think Welling got relegated from National South last season, if I remember right. Slough they stayed up. Match 51 of 80. We've got Folkestone Invicta against Maidstone United. Match 52. All National League South. We've got Farnborough versus Dover Athletic. Then we've got match 53. Dorking Wanderers of the National South against Carshalton Athletic or Wingate and Finchley. I think those are both Step 3 clubs. Then we've got Eastbourne Borough, also National League South, against Epsom and Newell. I call Slough Slug Town. My dad used to call them Slough Town. I saw Slough last year when they went away to Torquay. They were dreadful. What was the score in that one? Hereford having a win, says Ashley. Yes, we did get a win. We beat Alfreton 2-0. It was much needed to get us off the bottom. And actually, at this early stage in the season, it pulled us away from, I mean, we're still close to it, but it pulled us out of the relegation zone. We've got Bedford Town tomorrow. Burgess Hill Town against Farnham Town. 2-0 to Torquay, but it should have been 4 or 5. Non-league James Boyle. My Carlton vlog will be up at 7 tonight. That'll be a good one. I'll be watching that one later. And if you haven't already, go and subscribe to James Boyle's channel because he does some really good vlogs. I actually only know James because I reached out to him when I was making a behind the scenes at Sleaford Town. And he went to a game that I was talking about in my video. So I reached out and asked him if I could use his footage. And yeah, we've been speaking since. So, top bloke. So Burgess Hill Town against Farnham Town. As James mentioned earlier, Jersey Bulls against Worthing. I think anyone having to travel to Jersey is a tricky tie. You should make these videos. If you get the ideas, make the videos about Bon Mati's rating. We've got match 57, Cray Wanderers or Hanwell Town against Bedfont Sports Club. I'm not sure what step Bedfont Sports Club are. I think they might be step 5. And then Chertsey Town against Cray Valley Paper Mills. They're still going after their cup run of a few years ago. Step 5. Yeah, I thought they were step 5. Westfield against Horsham. Bracknell Town, they had a good cup run a few years ago. Or Dartford played Tadley Caleva. They knocked Weymouth out on Saturday lunchtime. That was moved for TV. We've got Hayes and Yedding United or White Hawk against Walton and Hersham. Maidenhead United against Faversham Town or Hastings United. I think Hastings have had a bit of a fall through the divisions recently. Be good to see them coming back. James, have you checked out my channel? Can you check out Roaster and Flagmaster? Game 63, Ebbsfleet United against the other Ashford Town, the Middlesex Ashford Town. 64, Seoul Tower Hamlets, who I think are step 5 against Flackwell Heath. We've got Deal Town against Egham Town. Whitstable Town play Chichester City. Chichester, I think there's an interesting fact about them. I think they're one of the only recent clubs anyway to receive a bye into the second round. So they reached the first round of the FA Cup years ago. Bury dropped out of the league. They were expelled from the Football League. So one team got a bye into the second round, and that was Chichester City. I would imagine Roaster has subscribed to you, yes. So we've got Hampton and Richmond Borough against AFC Croydon Athletic. Quite a local one, I believe. They played Tranmere, lost 5-1. Yeah, that's a good memory, that. Staining Town Community against Tunbridge Angels. When Hereford reformed, the first team to ever knock us out of the FA Cup was Tunbridge Angels. They beat us 4-1, I think, in the second qualifying round. We've got Winchester City or Fareham Town against Sholing. This one I mentioned earlier, this is, for me, one of the biggest ties of the round, is Taunton Town against Weston-super-Mare. We've then got another quite big one, Wimborne Town against Bath City. Brixham against Dorchester Town. We've then got Gloucester City or AFC Portchester against Chippenham Town. That's Southern League Prem Central South, Gloucester City. I think Portchester might be step 4 against National League South, Chippenham Town. Salisbury, National League South against Laverstock and Ford. Not sure what step they are. I imagine it's 4 or 5. Roaster says Torquay is my second team, so I hope they beat Cotton. That's a big game, though, that is. We've got Gosport Borough against Didcot Town or Poole Town. As you just mentioned, AFC Totton against Torquay United. We've got 4 more ties left. Hungerford Town against Swindon Supermarine. Merthyr Town against Torpoint Athletic. Then there's Westbury United or Yate Town against Oxford City. And the last one is Shaftesbury or Exmouth Town against Frome Town. I looked at which replays were on Wednesday. And this was on Saturday night, and I thought, which game could I go to on Wednesday? There's an FA Cup replay. It's Exmouth. That's almost 5 hours. Almost 5 hours from me. Merthyr Town are home to Torpoint Athletic, so they should beat them. Yes, Edward does have a channel. It's Edward's Footy Predictions. He puts a lot of good shorts out on there. Yeah, self-explanatory what he does. So that's the second qualifying round draw. So we have got some replays coming up. Let's have a look at these fixtures. So there are several replays. We've got so yeah, like I said, it's Abbey Holton United against Sutton Coldfield Town. That is happening tonight. Was going to go to that, can't make it now. He plays on Tuesday, so tomorrow. Shildon are playing Witton. Prescott against Hyde. Town against Harbour is a good one. I'll be keeping an eye on Sporting Kelsford against Boston Town because obviously the winner of that plays my team. Stratford against Hales Owen. Chasetown against Worcester. Shepshed against Bourne. There's so many ties going on. So many replays. I don't think there's that many on Wednesday, though. Wednesday, there's Ashton United against Hallam, Whitehawk against Hazen Yedding, and Exmouth against Shaftesbury. Non-league, James Boyle says Worcester City versus Chasetown. What do you think to that game this week? I think that's a really tough one for Worcester. Obviously, Chasetown had the two famous FA Cup runs. I think they were one of the first 9th tier sides to ever make the first round. They were then the first 8th tier side to make the third round. And they played Cardiff. And I think Worcester, having not beaten them at home at the weekend, I think Chasetown will probably knock out Worcester. So yeah, I think that's going to be tricky. Roaster 2 is 1 subscriber away and get him to 150. Big results this week then. What's anyone's thoughts on Mikel Arteta's offensive display playing for the draw at Anfield? One of my teachers despises Liverpool. I don't blame them. Yeah, as a Newcastle fan, I bet you're not massively keen on Liverpool now, are you? They look good though. Arsenal set up to defend. They still managed to find a way through. Ashley despises Man United. Yeah, I think a lot of people do. So what games are we going to this week then? So for me, it's Halifax Town against Woking in the National League. Ten Hag got sacked 2 games into the season. He's not having a good run, is he? Sacked by Leverkusen. Not having a good run at all. Got a feel for the guy, really. And I think the way that Amrim's doing at Man United, you've got to say that I don't think Ten Hag was the problem. I think that Manchester United's board is probably the problem because Amrim is facing the same struggles that Ten Hag did. I think what United need to do is they need to get rid of all the players that aren't performing or the players that are just sat there to take a wage. Just get rid of them all, start again. They had a dreadful season last season. It started poorly, but how bad are Man City? Edward says Ten Hag better than Amrim. Yeah, I think they're similar. Yeah, similar kind of standard managers. I think Sporting loved Amrim, and I can see him going back to Sporting. I think Amrim will get fed up at United. I think he's more likely to be sacked than walk. But yeah, I could see him going back to Sporting. What I was going to mention actually is I'm going to a Champions League game next month. Can anyone guess where I'm going? I think James Boyle probably knows, but I've bought tickets to a Champions League game, and I believe it's a match day 2 fixture. Edward's Footy Prediction says Napoli. You are spot on with that. I'm headed to Napoli against Sporting Lisbon on, I think, exactly a month today, which should be amazing. Next week, So this week I've got Halifax Town against Woking. At the weekend I've got Long Eaton against Carlton in the FA Trophy. Then on Tuesday I'm at Harbour Town against Quorn. On Wednesday I'm at Stourbridge against Worcester. And then I think it is FA Cup weekend again. Kairat Almaty's first home game in the Champions League is Real Madrid. I mean, does it get any bigger than that? Real Madrid at home. I think the only way it could be any bigger is Real Madrid away, isn't it? What a game that could be. So the game I'm going to is the 1st of October. It's Napoli against Sporting. Newcastle's first game is against Barcelona. That's quite some introduction to the Champions League, isn't it? Ashley is going to Gateshead against Altrincham. Whereabouts are you, Ashley? Yeah, so there's National League North, National League South tonight. I'm doing a Q&A, so find the short comment your question. I see. Edward says, all questions like me because, you're not. How does everyone think Hereford are going to get on tomorrow then against Bedford Town? Is it going to be follow up with another win? Or are we going to do exactly what we did after winning away at Buxton? Are we going to follow it up with a poor home performance and get beaten? I'm not massively confident. My grandfather's from Nottingham and his surname is Warren as well. That's interesting because I don't see many Warrens. I don't see many Warrens around. Roaster says draw or win. Edward says 4-1 Hereford. I hope so because Bedford are struggling as well. So it's a good time to play them. I think Bedford are going to be up there come the end of the season. I think they'll settle into the league. Roaster says 2-1 to Hereford. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm really happy with that. That'll put us to 9 points. It's kind of almost clawed back some of the defeats. We'll have 9 points from 7 games. Aren't South Shields looking good, though? We think we've got Kings Lynn against Kidderminster this week, too. Let me just go and check out what fixtures are happening this week. So it's an international break, isn't it? So I don't think there's any Premier League or anything. Yeah. We've got yeah. We've signed a lad on loan from West Brom who's apparently really good against Alfreton at the weekend, and we've just signed a lad from Matlock Town actually, and I'd noticed that there was a few Hereford fans commenting on Matlock Town's page saying such and such is missing. Yeah, and I think we've released a couple of players. I think Chris Ray was just terrible. He's been released. Kai Williams, I can't really comment on because I didn't massively see him. But yeah, I think Caddis has made some changes and he's shown that he's strong enough to make those changes. So hopefully he's going to turn things around because we shouldn't be down the bottom of that league. Ashley isn't Warren, that's mother's maiden name. No Premier Championship. Edward's footy predictions. Should I do World Cup qualifying predictions in League 1 and 2? Yeah, I think you should. I think you should try it. I think I did predictions for the Euros, and some of them did well and some of them didn't do well. So Yeah, my channel was a lot smaller when I was doing the Euro stuff. I think I hit 1,000 subscribers during the Euros, and then it took me quite a while after to actually get monetized. My mother is Jo Warren, or was before she was married. That is very close to my name. Edward's footy predictions. I'm supporting Germany, France, England, and Wales. Roaster supports England, Ukraine, and San Marino. James Boyle says, how long did it take you to get to that 1K? So I think I got to 1,000 in July, and I started the channel in January. But I started the channel as a gaming channel. So I used to do a lot of gaming videos, hence the name Gaming Blomp. And I used to do a lot of sort of horror games and FIFA, but it didn't really work. The algorithm doesn't like it too much if you do too much. So too many different things. So I was doing a mixture of football videos and gaming videos, and the gaming ones didn't do very well. The football ones did. So yeah, it took me about what's that, 7 months to get to 1,000 subscribers, and then I think it took a further 5 months, 6 months to get monetized. There's 2 tiers to monetization. There's the tier where you've just got memberships on your channel, where so people can super chat. So if you look in the chat, you can actually drop super chats on my page. Or then there's the full monetization, which is ad revenue, and you need 500 subscribers plus 3,000 hours watch time in the last year to get the first tier, and you need 1,000 subscribers with 4,000 hours watch time to reach the top tier to get ad revenue. I found the watch hours harder to get. Or the other option is you get 10 million shorts views in 90 days, which is just, my channel hasn't even had that many views. Roaster says, I'm part Ukrainian and I like San Marino because they're the best. They are. James Boyle is trying to get up there still. You will do. You will get it there. You will do. I think vlogs, I find the vlogs are hit and miss, really. Like they, sometimes I think I had 8,000 on a cup final, a not senior cup final vlog that I did, and I think some of the others struggle to get to 100. So it really depends where you go, the titles you use as well. I'm part German, French, English, and South African, and I'm just Welsh. Yeah, so I'm Welsh, but I do have some English family as well. So I'm half and half, but I'm always Welsh if anyone asks.